Basic Appraisal Procedures, page 102. Elements for describing neighborhood market conditions, continued. Predominant occupancy. Who primarily occupies properties in the neighborhood? If a neighborhood is predominantly tenant occupied, is this trend recent? A trend of tenant-occupied properties may be a concern for some lenders. A consideration in the highest and best use analysis, and also an indicator for use of the income approach in the valuation analysis. Land use. A key indicator of highest and best use. The present land use is usually stated as the use of all properties in the market, including vacant land. The appraiser will typically describe the land use by breaking it down into percentages. For example, single family, 2 to 4 family, multifamily, commercial, industrial, vacant land, institutional, such as churches and schools, other uses. Observation of land use trends helps the appraiser in the highest and best use analysis, and also in determining conformity of the subject property. Growth rate and built up. Observing the growth and built up rate of a neighborhood or the subject development lends insight as to market acceptance and success in the area. The growth rate is most often described as rapid, stable, or slow. The built up rate is usually stated as a percentage. Clients and other intended users of appraisals depend on the appraiser's description of growth and built-up rate as a means to assess risk of the property value. Typical marketing time. Analysis and description of marketing times are usually made using the conclusions from the study of economic conditions and the resulting supply and demand analysis. Marketing time is the expected time looking at future conditions the property will stay on the market before a sale transaction will take place. Typical marketing time is most often stated as a range of days or months, such as 30 to 90 days. Other market changes. Other market changes might be caused by special conditions in the subject neighborhood, such as offering special financing terms, typically offered concessions or down payment assistance programs, typically taken advantage of in the market, often observed in new subdivisions with builder incentives and neighborhoods attracting first-time home buyers. Page 103. 4. Describing the subject site. Physical forces. There are many factors to consider when examining the value of a site, including the dimensions and shape of the usable area. The appraiser can use various sources to ensure this data is correct. Configuration of the parcel of land is important, as well as how the land sits in relation to the road and other parcels of land. Generally, a large parcel is more valuable than a smaller one, but not always. A commercial parcel with significant road frontage is usually more valuable than one with limited frontage and visibility. We will look at some of these factors when we discuss the geographic characteristics of land and site. Other physical forces specific to the property include topography of the land, flat or hilly, drainage, soil type, and view. In addition, the presence of absence of utilities or other site improvements should be noted on the appraiser's site data form and ultimately in the final appraisal report. The location of the lot within a neighborhood, position of the lot, corner, cul-de-sac, etc., and access to the lot are other factors taken into consideration. This data can be obtained by a personal property inspection and from public records. U.S. Census Bureau. American Fact Finder. Anytown, USA. Census 2000 demographic profile highlights. Total population. Median age under 5 years, 18 years, 65 years. Race, Hispanic or Latino. Average household size, average family size, housing units, etc. Census data. Information on demographics, housing, and area economics is available from the U.S. Census Bureau at www.census.gov. Economic forces. Economic forces are also relative when examining the value of a site. Business cycles can create swings of activity affecting available supply and demand. For instance, if a new factory is locating in a particular market area and an undersupply of existing houses is available, it would be a necessity to develop lots on which to build new houses. This necessity to develop lots on which to build new houses, this economic factor would positively affect the value of land and is directly tied to employment. However, an oversupply of available building sites would occur if land developers develop more sites that the current demand could absorb in a reasonable period. The cost of money or interest rates.